The colony world called New Haven was quiet most days. Tall trees with blue leaves covered the hills. Small houses stood in neat rows near a wide river. Humans had come here many years ago to build a new home far from Earth. They farmed the land, fixed machines, and tried to live in peace with the local aliens. The aliens were called the Vexari. They looked like big cats that walked on two legs. They had thick fur, sharp claws, and long tails. Their eyes glowed yellow at night. The Vexari were strong hunters. They used energy weapons and fast ships. They saw humans as weak strangers who did not belong on their world. But the humans stayed polite. They traded food and tools. They kept to their side of the border. Most of the time, no one fought. Daniel Brooks was one of the first settlers. He was a quiet man who fixed engines and built things. He lived in a small house at the edge of the colony, close to the forest. Years ago, he found a tiny Vexari kitten alone in the grass. Its mother had been hurt in a fight with other Vexari. The kitten was weak and crying. Daniel could not leave it. He took it home, fed it milk from a bottle, and kept it warm. He named the mother Luna, because her fur was silver, like the moon. The kitten he called Shadow, because it followed him everywhere, like a dark shape. Luna did not like humans much. She was wild. She stayed in the forest most days. But she let Daniel come near. Sometimes she sat at the tree line and watched him work in his yard. Shadow grew up strong. He played in the house, slept on Daniel's bed, and purred when Daniel scratched his ears. To Daniel, Shadow was family. Luna was family too, even if she stayed outside. One clear morning, Daniel walked to the forest edge with a basket of fish. He wanted to leave food for Luna. Shadow came with him, jumping over roots. The air smelled of wet leaves and flowers. Daniel set the basket down and called softly, "Luna, you there?" No answer came. Shadow's ears went up. He sniffed the ground and let out a low growl. Daniel felt something was wrong. He walked deeper into the trees. Then he saw her. Luna lay on her side in a small clearing. Her silver fur was burned black in places. Long cuts from energy lances crossed her body. Blood soaked the ground around her. Her eyes were open, but empty. She was gone. Daniel dropped to his knees. His hands shook as he touched her fur. It was still warm. Shadow pushed close and sniffed his mother. He made a sad, broken sound. Daniel pulled Luna's big head into his lap. Tears fell on her fur. He sat there for a long time, not moving. Shadow suddenly ran back toward the colony. He yowled loud and kept running. Daniel stood up slowly. His face was hard now. He carried Luna's body back to his house. He laid her in the yard under a big tree. They came over to ask what happened. Daniel did not speak much. He just said, "They killed her." Word moved fast through the small colony. People talked in low voices. Everyone knew Luna. They had seen her watching from the trees. Some children had waved at her. Now she was dead. That night, 12 friends came to Daniel's house. They were people he trusted most. They had helped him build his home years ago. They shared meals, fixed broken tools, and stood together in hard times. Robert Hayes was first. He was tall and strong. He had been a soldier long ago on Earth. His voice was calm but firm. Lisa Grant came next. She was a doctor. She always carried a small medical bag. Karen Mills was good with machines. She could fix anything. John Carter knew how to fly ships. He had a quick smile, but serious eyes. Then came Paul, Maria, Stephen, Laura, Kevin, Nancy, Eric, and Diane. Each one was different, but all of them cared about Daniel. They sat in the living room. Shadow lay at Daniel's feet, quiet now. A lamp gave soft light. Outside, rain started to fall. Daniel told them everything. He spoke in a low voice. A Vexari hunting group did it. I found tracks. They used lances. They laughed while they did it. I heard stories from a trader today. Their leader is Calthor. He said it was nothing, just a beast in the way. Robert leaned forward. They think we're soft. They think we won't fight back. Lisa looked at Luna's picture on the wall. She protected Shadow. She let us live here. She was not just a beast. Karen crossed her arms. We can't let the colony council know yet. They will talk and wait. The Vexari will say it was an accident. John nodded. We do this ourselves. Quiet, fast. The others agreed one by one. No one shouted. No one argued. They just decided. I don't want a big war. I just want justice for her. For Luna. Robert stood up. Then we go after Calthor and his group. We make them pay. But only us. 12 of us. Like the old days when we first came here. They spent the night planning. Robert drew maps on paper. He marked Vexari camps. Lisa packed bandages and medicine. Karen went to her workshop to change small shuttles into something stronger. John checked star charts for safe paths. Shadow stayed close to Daniel. When Daniel stood to get water, Shadow followed. When Daniel sat again, Shadow put his head on Daniel's knee. By morning, the rain stopped. The 12 left Daniel's house one by one, so no one would notice. They moved quietly. They gathered weapons from hidden boxes, rifles, grenades, and tools turned into weapons. They loaded food and water into 3 small ships. Daniel stood in his yard one last time. He looked at the spot where Luna had lain. We will make it right, he said softly. Shadow rubbed against his leg and looked up with big eyes. The 12 met at the landing field before dawn. The sky was still dark. Stars shone bright. They climbed into the ships. Engines hummed low. As the ships lifted off, Daniel looked back at New Haven. The colony lights looked small and peaceful. But something had changed. A line had been crossed. The Vexari did not know yet. They had harmed a mother. Now 12 humans were coming for them. And humans did not forget family. The 3 small ships flew low and quiet through the dark space between stars. Inside the lead ship, Daniel Brooks sat in the pilot seat next to John Carter. Shadow curled up on Daniel's lap, eyes half closed. The kitten was not a kitten anymore. He was big now, with thick black fur and sharp teeth. But he still acted like a baby when he was scared or sad. John kept his hands steady on the controls. We are clear of colony sensors, he said in a low voice. No one followed us. Daniel nodded. He stared out at the black void. His mind kept going back to Luna's body in the grass. The cuts, the blood, the empty eyes. He rubbed Shadow's ears slowly. The big cat purred, but it was a sad sound. Back on New Haven, the 12 had worked fast and smart. They did not tell anyone else. Not the council, not their families. This was their fight, their promise. Robert Hayes took charge of the plan like he always did. He had fought in real wars before. He knew how to move people without making noise. In his garage, he spread out maps of Vexari lands. Red lines showed where Calthor's clan hunted. Blue dots marked their outposts and supply camps. We hit them where it hurts, Robert said. Not their cities, not their young, just the ones who did this, and their leader. Lisa Grant packed medical bags. She filled them with bandages, pain shots, burn gel, and quick stitches. We might get hurt, she told the group, but no one dies if I can help it. She also brought extra food packs that tasted bad, but kept energy up for days. Karen Mills stayed up all night in her workshop. She took 3 old colony shuttles, simple ships for short trips, and changed them. She added thick metal plates to the sides for protection. She fixed small guns under the wings. She built hidden compartments for weapons and tools. "They won't see us coming," she said with a small smile. "And if they do, they won't like what they see." Paul and Maria worked on the computers. They hacked into weak Vexari signals. They listened to enemy talk. They learned Calthor's clan was proud. They bragged about killing Luna. They called her the soft human pet. They planned to take more land near the colony. That made the 12 angry in a new way. This was not just about one cat anymore. It was about respect, about not letting bullies push humans around. Stephen and Laura made fake messages. They sent false reports to Vexari patrols so the enemy would look in the wrong places. Kevin checked all the guns and made sure every bullet worked. Nancy packed water filters and warm blankets. Eric tested small drones that could fly ahead and take pictures without being seen. Diane loaded extra power cells for everything. They chose 12 because it felt right. 12 was the number of close friends who helped Daniel when he first came to New Haven. They built his house together. They planted his garden. They sat with him when he was lonely. Now they stood with him again. Family did not need more than that. On the second day of the flight, they stopped at a small hidden asteroid. It was a rock no one used. They landed the ships inside a big cave. No signals could get out. They ate simple food, dried meat and bread. They talked in quiet voices. Robert stood in front of them. "We are not soldiers," he said. "We are friends, neighbors, but right now we are something else. We are the answer to what they did. We go in quiet. We hit hard. We get out. No prisoners unless we need answers. No extra killing. Just Calthor and his hunters." Daniel spoke next. His voice was rough. "I don't care if they call us monsters. They killed her. They laughed. Shadow saw it all. He still shakes when he sleeps. This is for him too." Shadow lifted his head at his name. He looked at each person with bright green eyes. Then he walked to Daniel and pressed against his leg. John pointed to the star map on the wall. "We have 3 jumps left. First to the edge of their hunting zone. Then to the storm moon. From there, we can reach their main camp in one fast run. The storm will hide us." Karen showed them her new toys. Small round bombs that stuck to walls and blew up on a timer. "Quiet entry," she said. "Loud exit if needed." Lisa checked everyone's health. She looked at cuts and bruises from loading the ships. She gave Daniel a shot for his shaking hands. "You need to stay calm," she told him. "Rage makes mistakes." The group laughed a little at that. It was nervous laughter, but it helped. That night in the cave, they slept in shifts. Daniel could not sleep. He sat outside the ship on a rock. Shadow lay next to him. The stars looked cold and far away. Daniel whispered to the big cat, "I should have protected her better. I should have kept her inside. I'm sorry." Shadow rubbed his head against Daniel's hand. He made a soft sound like he understood. In the morning they checked everything one more time. Guns loaded, maps marked, ships fueled. They climbed back in. As the ships left the asteroid, Robert spoke over the radio. "This is it. No turning back. For Luna." The others answered one by one. "For Luna." Daniel said at last. "For Luna." The ships jumped into hyperspace. Colors swirled around them. Time felt strange. Everyone was quiet. When they came out, a big gas giant filled the view. Rings of ice and dust circled it. Beyond that, the storm moon waited. Dark clouds flashed with lightning. It was a good place to hide. John flew careful. "We land on the dark side. No patrols there." They touched down softly on black rock. Wind howled outside. Rain made of acid fell, but the ships were strong. Inside they gathered one last time. "We move at dusk tomorrow. Rest now. Eat. Check your gear." Daniel picked up Shadow. The cat was heavy, but Daniel did not mind. He carried him to a small room. He lay down on a narrow bed. Shadow curled on his chest. Daniel stared at the ceiling. "We are coming for them," he said softly. "They will learn what happens when you hurt family." Shadow closed his eyes. His purring filled the small space. Outside, the storm roared. Lightning lit the sky. The 12 slept or waited. Their ship sat quiet in the dark. Tomorrow they would strike. The Vexari had no idea. 12 humans were on their way, and they were very angry. The storm moon was a dark, angry place. Thick clouds hid the stars. Lightning flashed every few seconds. Rain hissed against the ship hulls like angry snakes. The 12 humans waited inside their hidden landing spot. They wore dark clothes that blended with shadows. Their faces were painted black. No one spoke much. They checked weapons one last time. Robert Hayes stood at the open door. Wind pulled at his jacket. "Dusk is here," he said. "We move now." They split into 3 teams of 4. Robert led one team with Lisa, Karen, and Paul. John led another with Stephen, Laura, and Kevin. Daniel led the last with Maria, Nancy, Eric, and Diane. Shadow stayed with Daniel. The big cat wore a small harness with a light that could turn off. His green eyes glowed in the dim light. The goal was simple: hit the main outpost where Calthor's hunters rested. It was a stone camp built into a rocky hill. Tall walls, watchtowers, guards with energy lances. The Vexari felt safe there. They did not expect humans to come so far. The teams moved through the storm like ghosts. Rain covered their footsteps. Lightning helped them see the path without lights. They climbed wet rocks, slipped on mud. No one complained. Karen's drones flew ahead. Small black balls with quiet wings. They sent pictures back to small screens on wrists. The outpost looked busy. Fires burned in pits. Vexari laughed loud. They ate meat and drank strong drink. Calthor was inside the big central building. His voice carried on the wind. He told stories about the weak human pet he killed. His hunters cheered. Daniel heard it. His hands tightened on his rifle. Shadow growled low in his throat. Robert's team reached the back wall first. Karen placed small sticky bombs on the stone. She set timers for 10 minutes. "When they blow, the towers fall," she whispered. John's team circled to the side gate. They waited in the dark. Stephen and Laura crawled close. They cut wires that powered the lights. The camp went darker. Guards looked around, confused. Daniel's team moved straight to the front. They stayed low behind rocks. Shadow sniffed the air. His tail flicked. He knew the smell of the ones who killed his mother. The first bomb went off. A loud crack. Fire bloomed. One tower crashed down. Rocks rolled. Vexari shouted in surprise. They grabbed weapons. Alarms screamed. That was the signal. Robert's team rushed the broken wall. They fired short bursts, precise shots. Vexari fell before they could aim. Lisa moved behind, ready to help if anyone got hit. Paul threw smoke bombs. Thick gray clouds filled the air. John's team hit the side gate. Kevin used a tool to break the lock. They poured in. Stephen shot a guard on the wall. Laura covered him with suppressive fire. They pushed forward fast. Daniel ran toward the central building. The cat moved like liquid shadow. He jumped on a Vexari who tried to stop them. Claws ripped. The alien screamed and fell. Daniel did not stop. Inside the camp, chaos grew. Vexari warriors ran to fight, but the humans were everywhere at once. They knew the plan. They moved as one. No fear showed on their faces. Karen found a power box. She overloaded it. Lights died completely. Darkness swallowed the camp, except for lightning flashes. Robert reached a group of hunters. They stood in a circle, lances ready. He threw a grenade. It exploded in their middle. Bodies flew. Lisa pulled Robert back when a lance grazed his arm. She sprayed something on the burn. "Keep moving," she said. Daniel kicked open the door to the central lodge. Smoke filled the room. Tables were overturned. Food spilled on the floor. Calthor stood at the far end. He was huge. His fur was dark red. Scars crossed his face. He held a long energy lance. His yellow eyes narrowed when he saw Daniel. "You," Calthor growled, "the soft human. You come for revenge over a dead animal?" Daniel stepped forward. Rain dripped from his hair. Shadow hissed beside him. "She was not an animal," Daniel said. "She was my family. You killed her. You laughed." Calthor laughed now, deep and loud. "One beast, and you bring how many? 12? You are fools." More Vexari ran in, but Maria and Nancy were already there. They fired from the sides. Eric tossed flashbangs. Bright light and noise filled the room. Vexari covered their eyes. Daniel charged. He dodged a lance swing. He slammed his rifle butt into Calthor's knee. The big alien roared in pain. Shadow leaped. He clawed at Calthor's face. Blood sprayed. Calthor swung his arm. Shadow flew back and hit the wall. He got up slow, shaking. Daniel did not wait. He fired point blank. The shot hit Calthor's shoulder. The war chief dropped his lance. He grabbed Daniel by the throat with one big hand. "You will die slow," he snarled. Daniel pulled a knife from his belt. He drove it into Calthor's side. The alien howled. His grip loosened. Daniel broke free. He kicked Calthor back. Outside, the fight continued. Robert's team cleared the yard. Bodies lay everywhere. Vexari tried to run to their ships. John and his team blocked the way. They shot engines. Ships exploded in fire. Karen set more charges. She yelled, "We have 5 minutes." The 12 pulled back. They dragged their wounded. Lisa carried Eric. He had taken a lance hit to the leg. He cursed, but stayed quiet. Daniel looked at Calthor. The big alien crawled toward his lance. Daniel stepped on it. "Tell your clan," he said. "Tell them what happens when you harm what is ours." Calthor spat blood. "You will pay for this." Daniel turned away. Shadow limped to him. The cat's side bled a little. Daniel picked him up carefully. They ran out of the lodge. Flames grew behind them. The 12 met at the edge of the camp. They counted heads. All alive. Some hurt, but alive. Robert looked back at the burning outpost. "We did it," he said. They moved fast through the storm. Lightning showed their path. Vexari survivors watched from hiding. They saw humans disappear into the dark. They whispered stories already. Ghosts, demons, humans who came for one dead cat. Back at the ships, they loaded in. Engines roared. They lifted off into the storm clouds. Lightning flashed around them like angry fingers. Daniel sat with Shadow on his lap. He cleaned the cat's wound. Shadow purred weak, but steady. Lisa bandaged arms and legs. She gave pain shots. No one spoke of victory yet. This was only the start. Robert looked at the group. They know our faces now. They will hunt us. Daniel stared out the window at the burning camp below. Let them come. The ships jumped away, into the black. The Vexari would remember this night. 12 humans had struck, and they were not done. The news of the outpost attack spread fast across Vexari worlds. Survivors ran to their ships with burned fur and wide eyes. They told stories in every clan hall. 12 humans came out of the storm. They moved like shadows. They killed without fear. They left fire and one carved message on the wall. You harmed a mother. Now face her family. Calthor lived. His shoulder bled. His face had deep claw marks from Shadow. He stood in front of his remaining warriors on the homeworld. His voice shook with rage. These humans think they can touch us? We are hunters. We are strong. We will hunt them down. Every clan will help. Every ship. Every warrior. Find them. Kill them. Bring me their heads. The Vexari fleets moved. Big ships with sharp noses and heavy guns. Small scout ships that flew fast, trackers with noses that could smell fear across space. They searched asteroid fields, they checked hidden moons, they blocked trade routes. They wanted revenge. They wanted to show the galaxy that no one heard of Vexari and lived. But the 12 were not easy to find. They hid in the dark places between stars. They used old mining caves on dead rocks. They turned off all signals. They moved only when needed. John Carter flew their ships in ways no Vexari could follow. He jumped through tight gaps between asteroids. He flew close to gas giants where storms hid them. He made the ships dance like leaves in wind. Karen Mills kept the ships running. She fixed engines in the dark with only a small light. She built new tricks. She made fake signals to trick enemy scanners. She turned scrap metal into decoy drones that looked like their ships. When Vexari chased one, it exploded in bright fire. The real ship slipped away. Paul and Maria listened to Vexari talk on hacked channels. They learned plans. They knew when fleets moved. They warned the group. We leave, now. Stephen and Laura sent messages back. Not to fight, to scare. They played recordings of Luna's last growls. They showed pictures of her body. They sent them to Vexari civilian channels. This is what your hunters did, the messages said. This is why we came. Think about it. Some Vexari started to doubt. Young ones asked questions. Why kill a mother cat? Why make humans angry? Older ones told them to stay quiet, but the doubt grew like a small fire. The 12 struck again and again. Small hits, fast hits. They attacked supply ships bringing food to the fleets. They blew up fuel stations on lonely moons. They boarded a scout ship once. They took maps and codes. They left the crew alive but tied up. Tell Calthor we are coming, Robert said. Each time they fought, they lost a little more. Eric's leg wound got worse. Infection set in. Lisa worked hard to save it. She cut away bad flesh. She gave strong medicine. Eric stayed in pain, but never complained. Keep going, he told them. Don't stop for me. Diane took a bad hit during a raid on a weapons depot. A lance burned her side. She fell. Robert carried her back to the ship. Lisa stitched her up. Diane smiled weak. I got 3 of them before I went down. Worth it. Shadow changed too. The big cat no longer hid. He fought beside them. His claws ripped armor. His teeth found weak spots in necks. When Daniel slept, Shadow watched the door. When danger came, Shadow warned first with a low growl. He was not just a pet anymore. He was one of them. Calthor grew more angry each day. He executed his own warriors for small mistakes. He called them cowards. He said they feared humans. His clan started to whisper. Some wanted to stop the hunt. Calthor killed those who spoke too loud. Fear kept the rest in line. The galaxy watched. Other alien races sent quiet messages to human colonies. What are your people doing? They asked. 12 against an empire. The humans on New Haven said nothing. They did not know the full story yet. But rumors spread. People smiled when they heard. That's our people, they said. One night in a hidden cave on a frozen moon, the 12 gathered around a small heater. The air was cold. Their breath made clouds. They ate warm soup from packets. Robert looked at the tired faces. We hurt them bad, he said. But they still have numbers. We can't keep this forever. Daniel stared into the fire. Shadow lay across his legs. We don't need forever, he said. We need them to break. Calthor is the key. If he falls, the rest stop. Lisa checked wounds. She shook her head. We are tired, hurt, low on supplies. One more big fight could end us. John smiled tired. Then we make it count. Karen showed them a new plan on her small screen. I found their flagship. Calthor's ship. It's in orbit above their homeworld. He stays there now, scared to come down. We can get close if we use the debris field from their last battle. Paul nodded. I can send a fake surrender message. Make them think we want to talk. They open the bay, we go in. Maria added, we record everything. Show the galaxy what happens when you push humans. They talked late into the night. They made the plan tight. No room for error. They knew this could be the last fight. Daniel took Shadow outside the cave. The frozen ground crunched under his boots. Stars shone bright above. He looked up. Luna, he whispered. We are almost there. For you. Shadow pressed against his leg. His fur was cold but warm where he touched Daniel. Back inside, the group slept in turns. Some dreamed of home. Some dreamed of fire. All dreamed of finishing this. In the morning they loaded the ships. They checked guns. They said quiet goodbyes to the cave. They knew they might not come back. John flew them out slow. The frozen moon fell behind. Ahead waited the debris field. Sharp metal pieces floated like broken teeth. Vexari ships patrolled nearby. But the 12 knew the way. They slipped through gaps no big ship could take. They hid in shadows of wrecked hulls. The flagship appeared, huge, black, covered in spikes. Lights glowed from windows. Calthor was inside, waiting. Robert spoke over the radio. This is it. For Luna, for family. One by one they answered. For Luna. Daniel held Shadow close. The cat looked at him with steady eyes. They moved forward, silent, deadly. The Vexari had hurt a mother. Now the humans brought war to their door. And they would not leave until it was done. The huge black flagship hung in orbit above the Vexari homeworld, like a sharp blade. Its lights glowed cold against the blue planet below. Inside, Calthor sat on his command throne. His wounds were bandaged, but the scars on his face still burned. He stared at screens that showed empty space. His claws tapped the armrest. He had sent most of his fleet away to search. He stayed here, safe behind thick armor. He told himself he was waiting for the humans to come. In truth, he was afraid. The 12 knew this. Paul and Maria had listened to every word on the enemy channels. They heard Calthor's voice crack when he spoke of the humans. They sent a fake message from an old colony code. We wish to talk peace, it said. We are tired. We come alone. Meet us at your ship. One shuttle. Calthor laughed when he heard it. They break at last, he said. He ordered the bay doors open. He told his guards to prepare chains. He wanted to take them alive. He wanted to make them beg. John Carter flew the lead shuttle through the debris field. The other 2 ships followed close behind, hidden in the junk. Metal pieces floated past like broken bones. The Vexari did not see them. The fake message worked. The shuttle slipped into the open bay. Doors closed behind it with a heavy clang. Air filled the space. The ramp dropped. Daniel stepped out first. Shadow walked beside him. The big cat's fur stood up. His eyes locked on the line of Vexari guards. Robert, Lisa, Karen, and the others came next. They carried no big guns, only small pistols and knives. They looked small against the tall aliens. Calthor walked forward. His guards formed a wall behind him. You come to die? He asked. Daniel looked up at him. We come to finish this. Calthor smiled with sharp teeth. Then come. The trap sprang. Vexari warriors rushed from side doors. They raised lances, but the humans were ready. Karen pressed a button on her wrist. Small charges she had planted on the shuttle hull exploded. The blast threw guards back. Metal screamed. Smoke filled the bay. Robert pulled out his real rifle from under his coat. He fired fast, precise. 3 guards fell. Lisa threw smoke grenades. Gray clouds rolled across the floor. John ran to a control panel. He hacked the doors. He locked them open, so the other 2 shuttles could fly in. Paul and Maria covered him with suppressive fire. Daniel and Shadow moved straight for Calthor. The big alien swung his lance. Daniel ducked. Shadow leaped high. He landed on Calthor's back. Claws dug into shoulders. Calthor roared and tried to shake him off. Daniel pulled his knife. He slashed at Calthor's legs. The war chief stumbled. Shadow bit deep into the neck. Blood sprayed hot. Around them, the fight grew wild. Kevin shot a warrior who aimed at Laura. Nancy helped Diane stand. Diane's side still hurt, but she threw a grenade into a group of guards. The explosion lit the bay orange. Eric limped forward. His bad leg dragged, but he kept shooting. Not yet, he muttered. Not done. The second and third shuttles flew in low. They landed hard. More friends poured out. But the bay was already chaos. Vexari fought hard. Humans fought harder. Robert held a hallway. He used an overturned table as a shield. Bullets sparked off Vexari armor. Lisa pulled a wounded Stephen back. She pressed a bandage to his arm. "Stay with me," she said. Karen ran to the power core room. She set charges on the main reactor. 10 minutes, she yelled over the radio. Then this ship dies. Calthor threw Shadow off. The cat hit the wall and slid down. He got up slow. Blood matted his fur. Daniel stood between them. "You killed her," he said. "You started this." Calthor laughed through pain. "And you destroy everything for it?" Daniel's eyes were cold. "She was family. You don't touch family." He charged. Calthor swung. Daniel dodged. He drove his knife into the alien's chest. Calthor gasped. His big hand grabbed Daniel's throat. He lifted him off the ground. Shadow leaped again. This time he went for the eyes. Claws raked deep. Calthor screamed and dropped Daniel. Daniel fell hard. He rolled and grabbed the fallen lance. He turned it on. Blue energy hummed. Calthor reached for his own weapon. Too slow. Daniel drove the lance through Calthor's chest. The war chief's eyes went wide. He fell to his knees. Blood pooled under him. He looked at Daniel one last time. "Humans," he whispered. Then he fell forward. Dead. The bay went quiet for a second. Vexari guards saw their leader fall. Some ran. Some froze. The humans did not stop. They pushed forward. Karen's charges went off. The ship shook. Lights flickered. Air hissed from broken pipes. Robert yelled, "To the pods, now!" They ran through halls. Vexari tried to stop them. But the humans were fast, angry. They shot their way clear. They reached the escape pods. They crammed in. Shadow jumped into Daniel's arms. The cat was hurt, but alive. Pods shot out into space. Behind them the flagship broke apart. Fire bloomed in silence. Pieces spun toward the planet. The Vexari fleet watched in shock. Their leader was gone. Their strongest ship was gone. The pods floated quiet. The 12 looked at each other. Some cried. Some smiled tired. They had lost no one this time. Wounds, yes, but all alive. John sent a last message to the Vexari fleets. "It is over. Leave our space. Harm nothing of ours again." The fleets did not answer at first. Then one ship sent back. "We agree. Peace." The pods flew back to the hidden moon. They landed soft. The 12 stepped out into cold air. Lisa checked wounds. Karen looked at the sky. Daniel sat on a rock. Shadow curled in his lap. The cat licked his hand. Daniel scratched behind his ears. "We did it," he said soft. Months later, back on New Haven, the colony was quiet again. People worked fields. Children played. No one spoke much about the 12, but everyone knew. They built a small stone marker under the big tree in Daniel's yard. It said only 2 words, "For Luna." Shadow slept there often. He grew old slow. His fur turned gray at the edges, but his eyes stayed bright. Daniel never forgot. None of them did. The Vexari kept their word. They stayed away. Other aliens whispered about the humans. "Do not touch what they love," they said, "even if it is small, even if it has fur and purrs." Because when humans decide to protect, they do not stop. 12 went to war for one mother cat.